an attack. Attack of the spotlight. Watching movies every night. Attack of the spotlight. Yeah. Attack of the spotlight. Attack of the spotlight. Stop the bad guys and get the girl. Rad superhero saving the world. Get scared, get scared. Fight for your life. Stay away from the psycho dude with the knife. Everything go wrong that can go wrong, and it's funny as hell, make us laugh so long. Fall in love and start a romance. Grab your partner for this heartfelt dance. Underdogs coming for the win. Exorcists make your head spin. There's wise Jedis and dirty Klingons racing so fast, boy, you better hang on. Head back to the future, back to the past. Don't let them rowdy punks karate your ass. Gang of thieves with heights of the century. Mother Nature's the star in a documentary. Sharks and more sharks, snakes and critters. Got bedroom eyes, baby, come hit her. Ride the planes, the trains, and the automobiles. Here comes Carr, man with a hell of a deal. Princesses and robots and toys come alive. Dinosaurs and zombies and top secret spies. Watching movies every night. Attack.
Welcome back to Attack of the Spotlight. My name is John Horton.
And I am Kyle Pierson. And today we've got a few reviews for you of things that we think you should watch or maybe try to avoid. But we'll see. We'll go for it. The first one's going to be hard to find to begin with because it's so far we have seen 3 different titles for it. It's officially called Venganza. That's what it says on the screen when you pull it up on Amazon Prime. And it is free if you have Amazon Prime Video, so you don't have to pay extra for this particular film. It's promoted as Vengeance. So that's what you want to type in if you want to look for it. If you want some information about it, you need to go on IMDb and look for Revenge, because that's what it's called there. So depending on where you look, it's got different titles, but officially it's Venganza. It's about
and what's also interesting is there are multiple movies called Vengeance, so it's going to be a real pain in the ass to Google and find the proper one.
That's right. You want the one that looks... all of them seem to have the same picture here. It's these 2 guys with the title in the middle. So you just take out whatever this is in the middle. If you find these 2 guys, you're looking in the right spot.
Exactly.
It is in English, but it's dubbed in English because it's actually in a foreign language. Mm-hmm. It is about an elite special forces leader, commander, captain, I don't recall, whose wife is brutally murdered. And he's furious about it, of course. But there's nothing he can do until he wins the lottery. And then all of a sudden he says, okay, I can take all the money I won from the lottery and I can get a whole bunch of women. If he had just done that, the climax would have been a lot different.
So when you win the lottery, Kyle, and the reporter says, what are you going to do with your money? We already know.
It's either weapons or women, one or the other. He gets weapons, and he recruits some members of his old force back together to try to seek revenge or vengeance or venganza on the person who did him wrong and killed his wife. The trailer is action-packed. The movie is basically the trailer with a lot of dialogue in between each of these scenes. I personally when I saw the trailer and you suggested watching this, I'm like, oh, this one actually will be pretty good. And it wasn't bad. It's just not as action-packed as they would make you believe with the trailer. Also, it's like they all have toy guns because there's no kickback, there's no recoil of any kind. Doesn't matter what the gun is and what they're shooting. It's whoosh, boom, not boom.
These are special forces. They're specially trained how to shoot a weapon and not face the recoil.
That's true. They also, when they go over the edge with ropes and they're all on one particular rope, they fall differently than most people would. Because instead of falling in a line, they fall over and one person falls here and one person falls here, even though they're on the same rope, which looks good from a camera angle. But from the side, it kind of looks like maybe they're being held up by wires, which I'm sure wasn't the case.
No, of course not.
That's what it looks like.
They're special forces, Kyle.
They're special forces, so they're like Spider-Man.
Yes.
So,
this is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, this movie is a hit. It's a hit in a variety of different countries. I just was disappointed by what I thought I was getting into than what I actually got. What are your thoughts?
I enjoyed it, but I was a little underwhelmed as well. I was okay with it. You know, it didn't make me want to turn it off, but I really wanted more action. I did. Once the action kicked in, I was really enjoying the shit out of it. When they go into the building, the two guys that are on the poster, and they taking the elevator up to the 9th floor, the doors open up. Cracked me the fuck up, the reaction. But yeah, I was a little underwhelmed by it. I was looking for a lot more. And the other thing that kills me, there's no getting around it. It's a foreign movie, and I'm old, so I have a tendency to turn on subtitles to make sure I don't miss anything because, you know, age, hearing, sometimes I miss stuff.
That's true.
God, it's a pain in the ass when the subtitles and the dubbed over voices, that doesn't match. I kept getting pulled. Wait, he didn't say that. Wait, oh, shit. I wish they'd get their shit together on subtitles and dubbing.
I also thought the voice that they used for the main guy didn't really sound like it would fit that guy. It seemed like everybody else was all right. But It just seemed like for some reason his voice seemed higher pitched than the person speaking. And maybe that's his real voice and they tried to find something similar. But I was a little bit distracted by that. I remember in even Squid Game, there was one or two of the characters that's the voice was just so more jarring than what you would expect coming from that particular person. You're like, that's what they sound like? I don't think so. But maybe they do. Who knows? There was some other thing that I remember. Maybe it was just the gun thing. As I was like, I got to remember to bring this up when it happens. I think that was it. It seemed like it was da 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 da. You know, it just seemed like they were literally playing with toys. and then they got a big gun out. I don't know if it was this or what, but it was the same thing. Dung 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 dung. Like, there's got to be some sort of whatever.
You're looking for.
I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't looking for it. It was just that noticeable to me. I'm like, okay. And then at the end, I did not like how the film ended. So
how so?
I was
without giving it away.
Well, that's the thing. I don't want to give it away.
Okay.
It's just not the way I would have gone with it. In fact, it was almost the exact opposite of how I would have ended it. And I was like, okay, you can that's a choice too. You could do that, but I would have preferred you go this way.
Right.
But
see, I don't really remember much of the ending. Isn't this what about like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not very memorable.
No, not really.
Unfortunately. So yeah, we don't have the one I want to check out, and I still haven't seen it, is Pretty Deadly.
Oh yeah,
with the ballerina.
Yeah,
kick ass. Because I really like. I don't know if you saw. Did you see Ballerina? The John Wick spin-off?
No, I have not.
It is really good, and yeah, I liked it better than a couple of the John Wicks, to be honest with me.
Wow.
With you. The only thing about it that was weird is because it's supposed to take place at the same time as John Wick 3. And in watching John Wick 3, there's really no time for John Wick because everyone's out to get him at this time, and then they're like, "Well, I'll send him on another mission." And I thought that the character in Ballerina was at least in John Wick 3, and she's not. So I'm like, well, why are you even doing this spinoff? If you're going to do a spinoff of John Wick, use Halle Berry's character with the two dogs. That's a spinoff because you don't make up a character and try to fit it into a timeline that's already as packed as it can possibly be. But I really, really liked that film. So
was the ballerina not in any of the John Wick films except for the spin?
No. Other characters are, and the whole situation with the ballerinas is in it. It's just that particular ballerina is not. So it seems to me, just seems weird.
It
like,
is.
okay. So yeah, I was like, at least because my wife and I went back to rewatch it, and we're sitting there and watching the third one, like, this is the one that crosses over, right? And it never did. And you're like, okay, you can see where these a couple scenes overlapped. You're like, all right, this is the scene where, John Wick is doing this and whatever. And then I guess this scene falls in between here. But seriously, when you're watching John Wick 3, you're like, why? How would he have time to go do this other thing? Why would he? It just seems odd. I really would have done the Halle Berry thing. But regardless, because of how well I like Ballerina, Pretty Deadly looks interesting. So we should check that out and review that.
Yeah, I'll watch. I'll give it a shot. Speaking of ballerinas, did you ever watch that one that had the vampire ballerina girl in it?
Abigail. Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
Yeah, see, apparently,
you like
ballerina killers.
Do you have a ballerina dress in your closet, Kyle?
Yeah, a couple, but I only break them out on special occasions, and it ain't Halloween.
Kyle in a tutu.
So, I maybe we'll end up editing this part out, but I'm going to bring it up anyway.
Okay.
One thing that I was as a kid, because any young people watching this will be like, "What the frick? Who cares?" When you got a couple old guys and they start talking about their ailments.
About their what?
Their ailments,
ailments.
Like this, whatever.
You said like gay opponents. I'm like, what?
Gay opponents.
Ailment, gay opponent. It's close.
So anyway, I've had this damn cough since Christmas Eve, and it's been in every episode of this show that I've been trying to suffer through. And I've got a Schottky's ring. Where's this extra thing? I've got acid reflux, a sticky esophagus. I've been told I've got a bunch of different things. But one thing that nobody ever did was told me to get an allergy test. And they said, "What are you allergic to?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm allergic to penicillin and cedar tree pollen." And they said, "Well, if you're allergic to cedar tree pollen, you might be allergic to some nuts of some sort. So let's test you." So I'm like, okay, I'm allergic to peanuts, celery, egg yolks, tomatoes, onions. The list goes on and on.
My God.
So they put this crap on my back, and my back starts swelling up, right? So they're like, "Well, probably the same thing's happening in your throat." I have eaten one of those damn things probably every day of my life. Garlic, everything I'm allergic to. So I have to go the next month without eating any of these things that's on this list at all.
Oh, shit.
Just so we can find out if it's the case, because my throat has been probably swollen up for so incredibly long that we got to get it back to normal. And then they said, because like egg is in cake, they're like, "Well, we'll start you off slow. But you can't have a slice of cake. You can have a bite of cake. And we'll see what that does. And then I can slowly work and try to figure out what may be causing this, which probably at that point I'm going to realize I'm not going to eat any of these things anyway. I've just got to figure out alternatives. But I'm like, good Lord. I've had
Huh.
I've had neurosurgery for something where it felt like I was being electrocuted and stabbed in my face over and over again, and I was so freaking medicated, my hands are going like this, and I don't remember like months of my life, but I can without a doubt remember dreams that I had as if they were real. I've had um what's that damn vertigo, and people say, "Oh, you're just a little dizzy." No, vertigo is like if your head is on a spindle and your body is spinning. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like my whole body was freaking spinning. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh my.
I had to take all these tests and you can't control anything. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had, because that was done by, I had broken crystals in my ear or something. And I had to do all these different moves to get those back. I've had so many freaking things.
Yeah.
I've had 5 hernias.
Good God.
5.
All in the
Every
same
time they-
spot?
No, they move around. I've had a couple on the left, a couple on the right. I had an umbilical hernia. I've
An umbilical hernia.
Yeah, because it's actually that was messed up. I actually had an Audi for years, and then it was because of a hernia. So when they fixed the hernia, it went to being an innie. So I
You
don't know, but I swear to God, when I was 30, I went in to get a physical because my dad had 6 heart attacks. It was a 6 heart attack that killed him. I'm like,
right.
I'm not going to have a heart attack. I'm not doing anything he does. And they said, you're perfectly healthy for the double hernia surgery you need. And I was like, what? And since 30, I've been falling apart. But this damn allergy I've had my whole life. And nobody suggested that I get checked for this. They were all talking. They said, how did he get this old and not have anybody ask him about food allergies if he's been complaining about trouble swallowing for, like, I don't know. So the American medical system. Cheers. So anyway, when you hear me almost coughing or start to like, that's why. And hopefully a month from now, that won't be an issue anymore. That's one of the reasons why I haven't signed up for a lot of these acting gigs. I don't think I can get through a scene without coughing. And I'm like, I don't want to be the guy that nobody wants to rehire because he can't get through a scene.
Right.
So, because it scared the hell out of me when I did Death Bike. I was like, oh my God, I gotta make sure I get through this. I was like,
Yeah.
so anywho, if you think that's worth keeping in,
I
keep it
think
in.
it's worth keeping in.
All right. What do you want to talk about now? What's the next one? You're doing one? Are we doing separate ones? What are we doing next? I've lost track.
Why don't you go ahead? Since you got the cup in your hand, you're about ready to take a drink.
God, you son of a bitch. Okay, we're doing. I literally just told you. We've talked many, many times about our love of Jimmy Carr, the comedian. He has hosted a number of various talk shows and, well, not talk shows, but game shows in the UK. This one, I watched the first pilot and I thought it was funny, but it wasn't something I thought I'd keep coming back to. And instead, it's something I keep coming back to. My wife and I really like this show. Basically, what happens is they have all the answers in front of them because everything that happens on the show while they're on it is what they're actually being questioned about. So they'll go through the introduction. Sam White is 48 years old, comes from Lansing, Michigan, and his favorite color is red, such and such. And then they'll say, okay, let's start the show. Angela, how old is Sam? Thinking, oh, crap. He's how, and you have to remember whatever happened in the show. Then he'll do like a commercial break or something, and he's talking to his staff about something. Then they come back, and then he'll ask them questions about what happened while they were in the commercial break. And he's like, "Oh crap!" And they'll keep doing stuff like that. So the premise, after I saw the first episode, I'm like, well, after a while, it's going to be easy. Just remember what people just said. It's not that easy to do, especially when you're watching a UK show and they talk a lot about stuff I don't know anything about. You know, if they mention cities I've heard of, I'd be easier to remember. But when they say Westchester and Cornwall and, you know, whatever the hell, I'm like, I don't know these places. And some of the questions I don't know what, you know, you can't answer them because you don't know what happens in England. But Jimmy is a fantastic host, and he has a lot of fun with the guests. And if somebody guesses something that is absolutely ridiculous, he'll say, "Really? Your best guess?" He's even mathematically, that's a stupid fucking answer. And he does, and it's just, you know, it's instead of all the niceties that we have here in the United States on our talk shows or game shows. Well, that was a good guess. You almost had it, you know, whatever. He's just coming out like, "Oh my God, what do you think?" And he's not doing it mean. He's spirited. It's just, come on, man. You should be able to kind of get, and it's really funny. And definitely one, I think if you just watch a couple episodes, and it's free on Amazon Prime. Just about all the British shows are on Amazon Prime these days. So definitely check out. I literally just told you. Why should you? Because I literally just told you.
There you go.
There you go. What do you got?
I have not seen any of it yet. And I say I don't have time, but I've got all these fucking movies that I watched that I thought we were going to talk about, and I'm not watching the stuff that we're talking about.
I'm sorry. I was gone for a week. I came back. I was sick for several days, so I'm not as well versed on everything as I should be. By the way, this is another side. I was talking about the show. I want to point out another thing that the Brits will do that America will not. I won't say which game show it was, but I used to work for a TV station, and every once in a while, different TV shows would have casting in our area, and I would help the casting process, and they do like a little mini version of the game and pick people who could win. You know, it's like, okay, if you do really good at this, then we'll have you on the show. And there was a gentleman who had a physical impairment.
Oh boy.
But he won the game twice. He won twice.
Right.
14 people were called back to actually be on the show for millions of TV viewers. Do you think they called him back? No.
They did not?
They didn't.
Wow.
And I'm sure it's because he had a physical impairment. And I'm like, what difference does that make? He could play the game, obviously, because he won it twice. Nobody else who played the game won it twice. Some of the people that got called back didn't win it once. They just were good players, I guess. But I was watching, I literally just told you, and there was somebody that had a physical impairment like in episode 2.
Wow.
And I'm like, see? They don't have the same, I don't know. In America, we try to make everything better. You know, like, okay, this is the way it should be. These are the people you should look like. These are the people you should act like. And in England, these are people. And I know that I'm sure they have people ridiculing people there, you know, just like we have here. That's the way, you know, they have comedians too, and everybody's ridiculing. But when it comes down to it, it just appears that their whole thought process is a bit more kind and forgiving and accepting than we ever have been.
Oh God.
And it bothers me.
Yes.
So that's my 2 cents. But that was one of I was so pissed at that show. And if I didn't think I would get sued, I'd say which one. I
Well,
also felt,
speaking,
what? Oh, no, let's go ahead.
no, along those same lines, with the intolerance and the lack of compassion, I was scrolling through Facebook today, and I came across, I don't know why it popped up on my feed, because I look at conventions, but a convention in New Orleans popped up, and they had posted that they have a dress code rule for their cosplayers. And the rule was very simple. They're not going to allow you in if you're dressed like ICE or the cops or any militant group. And there was people bitching about it. Oh, you guys are so soft. We're not going to go to your convention. Why in God's fucking name would you want to dress up like something that is going to spoil the fun or make the experience of going to a convention miserable for your fellow congoers? I mean,
Well, I think it would be it would almost be a legal thing because if you're what what would be the difference between impersonating a police officer or dressing up as a police officer? I mean, is it if you try to arrest somebody? Because I know on Halloween you probably can.
yeah,
But yeah, if you show up to a convention and you're dressed like ICE, half of me would be like, "Oh shit, ICE is here," and
yeah.
then the other half would be, "No, that's probably somebody dressed up as ICE," and then I would think, "No, I bet you that's freaking ICE."
Yeah, exactly. Who's gonna think at going if you see someone dressed like that at a convention? Who's gonna go? Oh, that's a real good cosplay outfit. No, they're gonna go. Oh, fuck, ICE is here. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then everybody's going to be like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, but people were complaining about this convention setting this rule, and I'm just
Like they were going to dress like that.
exactly.
Because you know there weren't.
No, no,
Yeah.
they weren't.
That's the thing people bitch about.
And
Everybody-
they were calling the convention soft, and anyone who agreed with the convention's rules soft. Well, aren't you kind of fucking soft too by complaining that you can't wear your favorite costume?
Yeah, like wah. It's almost like the AI thing again, where we keep hearing
Yeah,
because there's
God.
people say I will not work with anyone who does AI in their productions,
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, I have a feeling the number of people you're going to be able to work with is going to be significantly decreasing over time
yes,
because a lot of these budgets, and it's not like okay, we it's either you're going to do this effect in AI or you're not going to do this effect at all because you're not going to be able to afford to do some of these effects.
right.
And you're not replacing anybody. If you had somebody hired and then you said, screw it, fire them, we'll just have AI do it. That's one
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
But if you absolutely cannot afford to have somebody do this effect, you're like, man, if I could just do this one thing and I could type that into my screen and have it done in just a few seconds, and that'll make my movie better. I understand the passion. I can see where people are coming from. I just think we're at a point already where it's like, I don't think we should just poo-poo any ideas
right.
yet, because again, like every other filmmaking thing, we went from black and white to color. Well, wait a minute. We don't need color. Black and white's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Then it's, they're going to talk now. Oh, now you're just going to ruin it because I should be able to imagine for myself what they sound like. It's just like reading a book. Making a movie in the first place is taking away my imagination. And then, the different effects and then CGI, and there's just always going to be something. They're fake. That's what movies
Okay.
are. and you do them the best you can. So I still think that,
And it's not going away.
no, it's
No
just
matter how
never
much
going to
you
go away.
complain, it's not going away. It's gone into Hollywood. There's AI writing scripts. There's
Yeah,
AI making the whole movie. There's AI putting dead actors in the movie. It's not going away.
yeah. And the
You're
thing is, oh, go ahead.
you can hold on to the traditional ideas, and in 5, 10 years, you're going to be like a VHS collector. Not that there's anything wrong with that at all. My brother collects VHS, but you're going to be holding on to something that's it's past its time.
Yeah, and
You
and
know,
I don't,
really.
and to me, like, okay, all that stuff still exists, and all the movies that you want to be made are still going to get made.
Mhm.
There's just going to be different ones. Just like, if we just said, well, okay, no more horror movies. There's only going to be comedy, drama, romance, and porn. Now we could probably survive,
Okay, I can live with that.
but it's that type of thing. It's like if you're making good movies, people are still going to want to see them.
Yeah,
So don't be upset if somebody's making a movie a different way than you. Make yours better than theirs, and you still
exactly.
can. You're competing against a freaking computer that's stealing ideas from other people in the first place. So you should be able to do it. So I think there's room for all of it out there. I don't want to see, I'd probably be interested to see what a movie would be made by a computer
Mhm.
completely, and then afterwards say, okay, well, that need some work, and then move on to the other stuff. Because no one's going to say, all right, you have these options. I'm going to give you a Steven Spielberg produced movie or an AI produced movie. Which one do you want to go to the theater and see? It's going to be Spielberg every single time.
Yes,
So yeah, I every single time. And just about any human, there might be a few humans if they made a movie. I'm like, nah, I don't want to see your work. But for the most part, I'm always going to pick the human. But if there's elements here and there that you're like, oh
right,
man,
exactly.
if I could just get AI to just do this one damn thing.
Mhm.
Okay.
If I could get AI to just, I'd never leave the house.
Oh my God. All right. Oh, back to the game shows. We're all over the place again. So there was another game show. It was funny because they came to our town. I won't say this one either because while I was filming, they told me to turn off the camera, and I'm like, "What?" And they said, "Because
What?
I forget the slogan because we were invited there to shoot behind the scenes,
Right.
but things kept going wrong."
Ah,
And it kept getting delayed, which I thought was interesting. I'm like, okay, well, here's some things you never see, and here's some stuff, and then they said a line like, such and such is perfect, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it, and that was it. So we knew what not to show, but it was just
right.
funny because you're never going to see bloopers from this one particular show. And I'm like, all right, okay. So it's interesting again how the facade of what you see on TV is not what's going on behind the scenes, especially.
Exactly.
All right, we have other shows to talk about.
Yes, we do.
You jump on to whatever you're doing next.
Is it funny AF? Was it funny AF, Kyle?
It could be funny AF.
Do you think funny? It was funny as AF. We're going to talk about funny
Oh,
AF.
the show itself was funny
Yes.
AF. Funny AF.
Yeah.
I'll just go back to my generic because I don't have a graphic for funny AF like I
Well,
thought
I'll
I
put
did.
one over here. No, over here. No. Fuck. I can't get my finger in the right place.
Well, see, now I put this huge graphic. It's going to be harder for you to cover it up. You're going to put it in there somewhere.
I'll put it on my side, like right over
Okay.
in
All
this
right.
general vicinity. Boy, this backwards shit. That's rough.
Yeah, that takes some getting used to. Ta-da! Backwards. All right, funny
Uh,
AF. Did I think funny AF was funny AF? I didn't at first. By the end, I did. I thought the first few episodes is about them narrowing it down in the first place.
right.
So some people were, some people weren't. Then when we got to the roast, then
Ooh,
everything turned around. I'm like, oh my God. Because I thought that was going to be a disaster.
yeah.
And that turned out to be absolutely hysterical, I thought.
Mm,
And then when we and we won't give away who won, but
nope.
I will say that when we got to the end, and I did vote, I thought the being able to vote live thing with a remote was fantastic, and all of those shows should figure out how to do that too. Not this, you can make 400 phone calls, you
Yeah,
get
I
one
hated
vote,
that.
and you're done. Um, I was going into the last episode thinking there was one of two people was going to get my vote. I had a feeling it was going to be one, but I'm like, nope, this other person could come up and blow me away. And instead, a third person I thought did so well that me and my wife were like, in reality, I think
Yeah.
this person was funnier. And we voted for that person, and that's the person that won. So we're like, okay, all right. So we felt good about that because it felt legit. It wasn't like, okay, we're taking previous performances and we're using that to vote. It was who was funnier that night. And in my mind, the person who won was the funniest one that night. But I didn't
Yep.
think up to that point that person was the funniest. There was two other people that I was really dead set on putting up there, and like, nope. So, and I think any of those three, all of them should have their own shows
Oh
because
yeah.
they were funny AF for sure.
I agree completely. I loved the show. I thought it was great from episode one. I mean, yeah, in the beginning you don't have as high a caliber as what you have at the end, obviously, because they're wheedling it down to the best.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
still enjoyed every single episode. The second one, nah. The roast, oh my God. The roast was hilarious, especially that one line, and you know which line I'm talking
Yeah,
about, Kyle. That one
which
line fucking killed it.
yeah. There was one joke that I laughed my ass off. Said by, if we're thinking the same person, the person who ended up winning the damn thing.
Yes, we are.
And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
happy with this person too, because in a situation like that, crossed the line I didn't cross, and it paid off big
Big
time for him.
time.
So,
Yeah, you
very
get to
good,
the
very good.
I ended up the second to the last episode, I actually ended up listening to it while I was taking my wife to work. I turned on Netflix and had it coming through the speaker. My wife was laughing at it. She wouldn't let me watch the finale until she was around for it. We both had our favorites. She had one favorite. I had the other. I had a different guy. But that night, the third person, the one who won it, definitely well deserved. Fucking, they fucking killed
Edit.
it. Boop.
Yeah, no. What was well, no, I don't want to give it. Well, no, I think this is all right. What is weird is that it was Nikki Glazer, right, who picked people who came in third and fourth to go
Mhm.
on tour with her. So
Yeah.
immediately, my wife and I, because she's coming to town, so we bought tickets to her show so we could see these people. But when it was all
Yeah.
said and done, I'm like, the person who came in second didn't win shit.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm hoping that the person who came in second gets their own show or opens for Kevin Hart or something, because
Yeah,
right now the person who comes in second didn't get anything out of it.
exactly. And
So
that person is the person who came in second was my original number one pick.
me too. Yep.
I thought that person was the best.
Yep.
And then
and the person who
Performances.
came in third was my second. So yeah, it definitely worked out the way I thought it should work out.
Yeah. Good call. Good show. Really enjoyed it. Um, Seems like there's one thing that's been bugging me about the whole show though.
Huh?
Right from the beginning, there's something that's been bugging me the whole time.
Got it.
What was the prize?
A Netflix special.
Weren't they kind of already on a Netflix special?
Well, they
I
were
mean,
on.
isn't that what the show is?
There was like 5, 6 Netflix specials. Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true. And now they got to come up with all new material because we've already seen a lot of it.
Yes.
So, did you happen to see the roast of Kevin Hart?
No, I did not. Not yet.
Okay, because what's interesting, first of all, it seemed weird that they were doing the roast of Kevin Hart 1 week after they had the roast on Kevin Hart's show, in which a
Right.
lot of people were roasting Kevin Hart. So technically, he got roasted twice the same week.
Yeah.
What's more interesting is me and my wife, neither of us could get through 20, 25 minutes of that show. It was horrible. And
Wow.
one of our high school friends saw it and said it was the worst Netflix TV special they've ever seen.
Holy shit.
And it's very weird. And maybe it gets better. She said it didn't. But what's weird is, first of all, it's hosted by Shane Gillis, who I only know because he was cast on Saturday Night Live
Right.
and then was fired before his first episode for saying something offensive. So they bring him back anyway to be a host. So he
Uh-huh.
hosted one of the episodes. It was the worst episode that season, in my opinion. He seemed way lost.
Wow.
And he's doing his monologue, and I'm like, yikes. And I'm like, well, maybe he's so intimidated by the fact that he is now hosting a show he was fired from before he
Yeah.
even started. So the next year they have him back. And I'm like, okay, I wouldn't, but okay, let's see what happens. And it was the worst episode that season.
Holy shit.
He did one bit that was funny. The rest of it was just not funny. His entire monologue was rough. And I saw that he stars in a show called Tires. I think it's on Netflix or one of these stations.
Right.
And I think it's been on a few years. So he's got a fan base. And maybe I haven't seen his stand up, and maybe he's just not good at hosting. But when they announced he was going to be the host of the roast, I'm like, oof, this seems like a bad idea given that and it wasn't me and my wife weren't the only ones that saw SNL and didn't like it. When the show comes on, you see clips, like every comment was about how awful.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I wasn't alone. Other people saw the same thing I did. So he comes out, and it's a whole bunch, and there was no confidence whatsoever in his delivery at all. It's like, yeah, well, such and such just, well, that was my best joke. Okay. And then he starts going into something else. Oh, if you didn't like that one, you're not going to like this one. That's my best material. I'm like, you just said the other joke was your best. Like 3 times he talks about how it wasn't that was his best joke. I'm like, this is just terrible.
Wow.
And they also had Kevin Hart himself almost hosting his own roast because they had Shane come out, then he left, then he comes back, but in the middle, Kevin Hart's doing this whole intro thing, and I'm like, well, this is weird. And then
That's
he
kind of
had
rude.
Usher, I think, come out, and then he's like, I brought Usher out here to get us all in the right mood, and then in his song, he's roasting Kevin Hart. And Kevin's like, you son of a bitch, what are you doing this for? And he knew about it.
Yeah.
But it's just dumb the way they're doing this, because you're like, okay, of course that's what he's going to do. And then at some point he's talking about Tom Brady, and you're like, well, of course Tom Brady's going to. Oh, there's Tom Brady. So he walks. I mean, everything was so. There was no surprise.
Wow.
No, and then finally, my wife and I just like now, and and in two different places. I gave up. My mom is actually the one that wanted to watch it because she's a big Kevin Hart fan. She hated
Wow.
it. My wife tried to watch it here because I was there. She couldn't get through it. She's like, "You're right. That was terrible." And I don't know if it got better, but I'm not reading anywhere where they say it got better. Instead, they keep telling me all the stuff that they cut out because how bad it was.
Wow.
So I don't.
Maybe I won't watch it.
I don't know. It's just, I'd like to see what The Rock said, because The Rock and him have, this relationship.
Yeah. I did see a little bit of clip of that, and Rock was like telling him to suck on his boob or some shit. Suck on his teat or some shit. I don't know exactly.
That's not going to make me laugh either.
No. And I do know that Cat Williams came out, and I guess those two had some kind of feud, and they buried the hatchet.
Interesting.
I don't follow Cat Williams at all.
Yeah, no, I know. I've seen a couple of his specials. He's pretty funny. And I love roasts. I love roasts because they're usually just from beginning to end. And there was this thing, the one that was on Kevin Hart's special 1 week earlier was way fun. And these are people who aren't seasoned at doing it. They didn't even want to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like trying to figure out how to get out of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And they got called on it.
Yeah.
But it was just weird that these are people who should be able to pull this off and didn't. So,
yeah. One thing I'll mention about Funny AF, did it not seem to you like it was kind of like, I mean, whenever it would cut to, whenever they weren't performing and it cut to Kevin Hart, didn't it seem like he just kind of dominated everybody?
Yeah. And it was worse in the beginning, because that was the thing I mentioned about in our previous episode, where it felt like Keegan-Michael Key was just the yes man.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yes. But yeah, it seemed like it was very difficult for, and the one with Chris Rock.
Oh,
he didn't even need to be there.
No,
he didn't say. He even gave Kevin Hart gave him the opportunity to make a comment, and he didn't make any comments. And I'm like,
yeah,
there was no point in him being there other than the fact that he's a big name. And that was really disappointing. I'm like, why are you even bothering being there? It was it was strange. Yeah. So that was the one time where it felt like Kevin was trying to get a comment out of somebody and didn't. In the other ones, it was kind of like, I'm doing this. I have help. It's almost like he has the other names of people there just so he can kind of throw some of the, responsibility on somebody else. Well, it was, we talked, and this is who we decided, it wasn't just, I'm the one that don't think you're that funny. Keegan Michael Key also doesn't think you're funny either. So yeah, I think he needs to let the other people have more say or input. Yeah. Because don't bring in a sidekick if you're not gonna let them talk at all.
Sidekick them.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I agree.
So what do we got next, Kyle?
Next, I think it's one for you.
For me?
Yeah, isn't it?
Could be.
Well, let's just do this one.
Okay.
All right. Jury Duty presents Company Retreat. I think I kept calling it Corporate Retreat in the last one.
So did I. I thought it was Corporate Retreat.
Yeah, no, it's Company Retreat. This one is the same premise of the original Jury Duty. There's a whole group of people that are filming a documentary about something, but one of the people is real and everybody else are actors. And in this particular situation, instead of it being a jury where nobody knows each other and everyone's getting to know each other in this space, this is, and it's in one small location most of the time. This one, they go on a company retreat to kind of like a resort that spans a large area, and everybody knows each other except for the one guy who has just been hired as a temp to help out. And he is experiencing all of these weird things with a group of people who already are tightly knit. So he's kind of like the outsider. Um, you've only seen one episode, so you tell me what your thoughts was and why you haven't seen two episodes. And then
I
I
only
will go from there.
watched one episode because the one episode just, I understand on all TV shows, whether it's a limited series or a full run or whatever, the first episode is always the setup and the introduction and getting you familiar with it. For me, the opening episode was just, everything was too over the top. I thought the personalities of everyone there was too strong and too over the top. I thought the premise was a little bit unbelievable, where he's hired as a temp by this one guy who's running the retreat. And the guy who's running the retreat says, for whatever reason that we will not reveal, I'm out. You take over. I found that a little bit hard to swallow, that the temp is going to take over and that everyone around would be, oh, okay, no problem. No problem. Let's let the guy who's been here for 2 days run the rest of it, because we're not capable enough to, we'll just put our trust in this complete stranger. So that's where I sat with. I didn't follow or continue watching because it just didn't seem plausible, the whole setup to me.
All right. I will agree with you. When I saw the first episode, it did not have the same feel of the previous show. I'm like, okay. And I thought the same thing. Even the poster, I like, it looks like, the guy's got the captain hat on, and you're like, this looks overdrawn. And what's really funny is one of the most, and he's supposed to be an annoying character. That's the whole premise. Basically, the premise of the story is there's a hot sauce company, and the guy that's been running it his whole life is going to hand it over to his son to run it. And there's also the potential of another company buying them out. But if they do buy them out, he wants to make sure that it's still run by the family, and all of the people that work there still work there. So that's really the premise of, is he going to sell, or is he going to give it to the son? Because it's mostly going to be for the son to deliver on. And the son is inept in a number of ways.
A fuck up?
Yes. Interestingly enough, I know somebody very similar. The whole situation, I know.
Wow.
I've been involved in. And I'm like, I don't like this guy just because I don't like the guy I also know who's exactly like him. so I was like, so I really didn't, like, okay, if it wasn't for this bizarre premise, I would have probably bailed too, because I'm like, okay, this is too much, for me. And as they go, yeah, it does feel like everything is more forced than it was the first time. And you're like, okay. And he mentions a number of times, like, you'd swear, nobody could write this shit. And excuse me. But as it goes, you do start to feel more for the characters. But what you're not realizing is they're really throwing a lot at this guy for a particular reason. They want to see how he's going to react because at the end, they need him to do something that could be very cool if he does it. And getting to that point, when you see the ending is dynamite.
Big
It is
payoff.
like, you're like, holy shit. Because you're like, wow, okay, you never would have imagined that this would happen, especially given all the weird shit that led to this.
Right.
And after that, I went back, and as much as I still like the first one, I was more impressed by how they got to where they got in the second one.
Hmm.
And there's a behind the scenes one, and most of those are like just commentaries of
Right.
the episode. My wife and I binge watched those faster than we did the actual series
Wow.
because it is so interesting, the stories of how they got to where they got to that point. So I keep watching it just to get to this ending because you're like, holy shit.
Wait.
And just to and then watch the behind the scenes because it is incredible. Like there's one time where this guy shows up and the whole premise is he's supposed to have locked his keys in the car. And that sets up another chain reaction of events. Except when the guy showed up, he left his window down. So all of a sudden, somebody catches that and they're like, holy shit. And they're trying to get one of the actresses on their little uh, earwig to come down and roll up the window. And they're like, you gotta get down there. But she had taken it out for a minute. She puts it back in. She's here. Like, what the hell? Like, just go down. There goes it. We're like, what? So she's going down. They're trying to get him. The people are like, okay, keep him over there as long as he can. This person, yeah, so she's the one that has to keep him away. That's right. She was the one that had to keep him away. Somebody else runs over, hurries up, rolls up the damn window, or, make sure that the car is shut, takes off. They go do their thing. The woman walks around the thing, and then she talks into her little thing. She says, I look forward to somebody telling me what the fuck just happened. And then they start going there. They start, when you're doing the premise, they're like, okay, we had to abandon this whole thing because this ended up happening. This we didn't think we were going to be able to do, and then it was actually your idea to do it. And
Wow.
it's just crazy how there was a fire right over the hill, so they almost had to abandon.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, so the whole thing is you get a real sense. And what I didn't realize is the same people who made this make Jackass and Borat. So they're used to trying to
Really?
get people in positions where they don't realize they're being had. So,
Wow.
and they were talking about how they almost got caught with the camera because one guy just sits there and he's looking at the mirror for a long time, and the guy is in there like, oh shit, he sees me. And they realized that as the sun was moving, every once in a while when it hit a certain spot, you could see right through the mirror. So they're like, oh shit. So they had to have one person actually stood and it had to stand right in front of a mirror so
Oh
you couldn't
wow.
see. You gotta finish it and then go back and see this stuff because it's crazy. And then they also have it where the one guy meets the guy from the first one, and James Marsden comes back and he's
Oh
interviewing
cool.
both. And so, oh
But definitely sounds like something that I will sit down and wrap up on.
yeah, it's
I mean,
it's
the way you
not.
set it up, it sounds like it's a damn mystery now. I got to watch it to find out who done it. Shit.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's not as fun as the first one because, like you're saying, it's less believable. But you only have to have one person believe it, and that's the guy sitting there.
It's true.
So that's the
Very
thing. You're
true.
like, okay. And I keep thinking, like, well, if I was in that spot, would I finally say, what the hell's going on here? This is bullshit. But but what was interesting is because the one guy left and left him there. There was a reason for that. Because he comes back and he's talking to him on videos, wanting to know what's going on. So that was how they found out what was in his mind and what decisions he might make going forward. So they set that whole thing up so that he would talk back and forth and say, "Oh my God, this happened," and this, like that. So
Wow.
so they're sitting there and they're getting all this information, and it was helping them be able to craft the rest of the show as it went on. So yeah, it seems like it was a bizarre thing. Like, why would you exactly? The one person that you select to take over is the one person that has nothing to do with the group. Seems like it would be somebody else. And it almost seems, now that you say that, somebody maybe should have been jealous about that. Like the woman that was jealous in Jury Duty because the other guy was picked as the foreman and not her.
Right.
They could have had somebody like that, like, whoa, well, fine, if this is the way it's going to be, that would have been an interesting element. But they also wanted to make sure that he probably had a reason to stay because he could have left at any point, but because he was the one responsible for it, that's what kept him there. So stick with it.
I'll stick with it.
And some really funny things do happen along the way.
We will return to this. I will stick with it on your word.
There you go.
Taking your word for it.
All right.
Also, speaking of taking your word for it, not that you recommended it at all recently, but because of your love of Chevy Chase, I went and bought goddamn Fletch 1 and 2 to watch. And I have not sat down to watch it yet, but I've never seen Fletch 1 and 2.
You've never seen
Never. And just because of your love for Fletch, or for Chevy Chase, I ordered it up off Amazon, and I need to sit down and watch it one of these days soon.
Fletch 1 is phenomenal. 2 is pretty good. It has good scenes in it. Right. The ending's almost identical, but the first one is fantastic. But I hope you like it, because if you didn't like the whole heart attack scene and
oh God, no,
the test, you might, because there's a lot of that type of thing.
We'll see.
That's great. I love Fletch. Fletch is one of the most quoted. Oh, you'll like it.
I can't say I've ever noticed anyone quoting Fletch.
Well, that's what, because you don't know it's Fletch that's being quoted.
Well, what's a Fletch quote?
Well, that's true. It's not an easy one to just throw off. It's like if you say a line, it doesn't really fit in a sentence. But there's it's like, where am I? In the records room. The records room. Yeah. Can I get the Beatles' White Album? Because it's a record.
The records room.
That was another problem with Shane Gillis. He kept having to explain all of his jokes.
Oh God.
Over and over. And I'm like, dude,
if
you have to explain every joke, it's not funny.
I recognize the name. Is his voice like kind of? Oh, fuck it. I'll just look him up afterwards.
Yeah, he does.
I'll look him up and put a picture of him over here.
There you go. He's in Tires.
The name's familiar.
Oh.
Well, I ain't got nothing. Well, I got other stuff, but I think that pretty much wraps us up. We've been going for quite a while here.
Yeah, we have, haven't we?
Yeah, this has been a very lengthy episode, but it's a good one because it's 10 days after our last time together. We interviewed Anthony.
Yeah, and then it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a long time, but
it has. I've missed you so much.
I missed you in ways that I can't describe.
In ways I wish you would not describe. I prefer to keep it that way.
So it's up to you. Our next episode can either be more reviews, or if we're going to do it right now, if you're up to doing it right now, if you're prepared to do it right now, the next episode will be movies that don't have sequels but should.
It will take me a few minutes to come together with something. but I think I can come up with something for that.
Okay, so tune in next week, ladies and gentlemen, when our next episode will be movies that do not have sequels, but should.
Good.
For John Horton, I'm Kyle Pierson. Thanks for watching Attack of the Spotlight. Catch us in video format on Facebook and YouTube, and audio on all of your favorite podcast services. And make sure you also follow us on Facebook at Attack of the Spotlight and on YouTube at Attack of the Spotlight for our shorts. We have solos where John or I will talk about movies that just came out, or a theme that might be from the National Day of the Week. Or today you talked about a convention that has been canceled and will no longer continue on. So every day we're trying to put something on there that is about 1 to 3 minutes long. So it's little fun information on something you may not have heard of or have heard of and you want to revisit, but we try to make it interesting. So catch us at Attack of the Spotlight, and you can find all of these links on our Attack of the Spotlight link tree. For John Horton, I'm Kyle Pierson. Have a good night.